gentlemen, step right up and prepare to be shocked and amazed as Barnabas the Bizarre and the Outbreak let you know that you're watching Papa Dick.
Hanging out, big event with my good pal J-Rod. J-Rod, it's been a while since I saw you last. How you doing?
Doing really well, thank you. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Hey, congratulations, American Gladiators. Let's talk about it.
Yes, so amazing. It'll come out next year on Amazon Prime, but I can't disclose my name yet, but it's going to be pretty badass.
All right. Now, how you doing today here at Big Event?
Oh my gosh, it's been fun. I've already had my New York bagel, so I'm set and ready for the day.
And Starbucks.
And Starbucks, of course. You know, venti lasts me the whole day.
Now, who do you hope to bump into today?
I already just took a photo with Alundra Blaze. She's one of my goats. There's a lot of really cool indie girls that are up and coming that it's always good to see here. And then, you know, I don't know if I'm going to wait in line, but we'll see. Maybe like AJ or someone else.
Hopefully. All right, what are you selling here? Amity, guess what?
What?
I'm going to get my own soap from Top Rope Soap.
It smells like crap, just like you. But you need it, Papa Dank.
That's not my soap. This is
Your soap. Disgusting.
You know, let's just take a moment. No, I'm not done because we're supposed to be best fucking friends.
You cursed on your own show.
I did.
I censored myself a second ago, but I'm not gonna fucking censor myself anymore, Papa Dank.
Did I tell you to censor yourself?
No, but I was trying to be nice for you.
I like the mask.
Thank you.
Amity LeVay, make sure everybody follows her, but don't follow her home.
No, don't follow me home, or I'm gonna follow you home. And I know a lot of you people would absolutely love that, but in your dreams.
She's got a nice pic.
Yo, they call me Dank, the lyrical titan. Stepping in the ring, spitting fire, igniting. From the square circle to the booth, I'm dominant. Unbreakable spirit, call me the king, I'm prominent. Beyond the barricade, the podcast bumping. Real talk, no gimmicks, ain't no time for slumping. Grinding day and night, always something to prove. Elevating the game, that's the Dank move. Mic check 1, 2, this ain't no illusion. Dropping truth bombs, causing a commotion. From the canvas to the charts, I'm climbing. Champion mindset, always shining. Resolute, run deep, and still the fight. Never back down, always standing upright. In the ring or on the track, same intensity. Delivering knockout blows, lyrically. 1, 2, this ain't no illusion. Dropping truth.
Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I'm your host, Papa Dank, and we are on the verge of FanFest 4, and I get to bring in my good pal, the one, the only, Mr. Herb Simmons.
Hey,
Hi.
Hey, Papa, how you doing?
I'm doing great tonight. How are you?
Oh, that's great. I hear you had a fabulous time in Las Vegas.
I did, Herb, and you know what they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's it. I'm telling you, they tell me it was a wild time out there, and they said everywhere they went, they saw Papa Dink. He was working the room, working the hotel.
I was. All right.
It's great.
Lost a lot of money, but hey, it's the name of the game in wrestling.
You know what the old saying is, you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. Let's talk about the great lineup right here coming up at FanFest 4. Here are some of the people that will be there.
Oh, yeah. It's, FanFest 4, of course, you've experienced what FanFest has been like in the past. And this one here to be put together in about 14 days because there wasn't going to be a FanFest 4. And I had to scurry around and find a hotel. And, it just, last year we had FanFest 3, of course, and that tornado came through St. Louis and kind of put a damper on everything. And so now we're all praying that Mother Nature is kinder to her this year. But it's great. And the list, we're over 60 legends and special guests. And, just yesterday we added Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, who I tried to get earlier. And but he called and he's confirmed because we're paying tribute to the late, great Hulk Hogan and giving him the Immortal Award, the International Award, because that man changed the wrestling not once but twice. And him and Jimmy were such good friends, so it was only right to have Jimmy come in.
Yeah, Jimmy was in his Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Good
Yep.
stuff.
Terrible.
Friday, we
Oh.
have the Mick Foley show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Mick and I, last year, him and I was in Las Vegas together, in fact, at Cauliflower Alley, and we got honored out there. Mick became a huge part of the Cauliflower Alley Club now. I mean, he's out pounding his pavements every day for it, and because it's such a great organization, which you and I've talked about in the past. And
Yes.
I got the Promoter of the Year award there last year, so I was kind of honored in the same class that he was. And we talked about it, and we tried on a couple of different times of getting dates in here for him, but it's worked out this year. Barbara Goodish, our good friend, the widow of the late great Bruiser Brody, actually called me one day and said, "Hey, I just had lunch with Mick, and he wants to get a hold of you. He's interested in coming in for the Brody Memorial." And I called him the next day, and we hooked up. And so he'll be doing his one-man show on that Friday night. And he was only supposed to be here for that show. But then a few weeks ago, he called and said, "Hey, Herb, I'm going to stay over Saturday, so advertise that too." So not only will he be doing his one-man show Friday night, and then after that, a private meet and greet that evening for the fans who's purchased that ticket. And then he'll be with us Saturday from about 11 a.m. in the morning until about 4 p.m. till he has to head out to his next gig.
Wow, that Mick Foley, always busy, Mick.
Well, and you get him, you get the Mankind, you get the Dude Love, the Cactus Jack, you get it all in one. And him and Barbara Goodish will be up in the ring doing that one-man show together. And of course, there's the lovely Barbara Goodish comes in every year for us. She always has, and such a sweet lady, as you well know.
Absolutely, 100% sweet, kind, awesome. Can't say anything negative about it.
No, if you meet her once, you're friends forever.
That's right.
She's just that way. Some people have to grow on you, not her, buddy. She meets you, and that's it. Your instant friendship.
For sure. I was hoping, I'd bump into her out here at one of the conventions out in the Northeast. So hopefully, she'll be out here soon.
Yeah, she's doing a little traveling, but I had to call her on the spur of the moment and tell her about, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And, oh, my gosh, let me see what I can do. And called me right back and said, I'm yours. I'll be there. So
awesome.
I couldn't have the Bruiser Brody Memorial without having her there,
Absolutely not. And look what other tribute you got. Mr. Andre the Giant going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. And real thank you out to our good friend Chris Owens, who has the largest collection in memorabilia. Chris, and he's going to come in and he's going to help participate, take a part of the induction of the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, the gentle giant, as we called him. Very well deserving, and I can't wait for Chris to be here to help you with that, because he's worked hard over the years collecting the items and taking them around. I was up with him in Indianapolis here a few weeks back, and people just standing there getting their picture taken in front of that big life-size poster of Andre. And so for him to do that, it's really he's got his heart and passion into it like we do.
For sure. Now, Andre the Giant is my all-time favorite. I love Andre.
Yeah.
I love him. I just got his big rubber guy.
Oh, did you really?
In Vegas, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Yeah. Great guy.
Got to meet his daughter, too.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We originally were trying to get her to confirm to come in. It was either her or Jackie, Frenchie's better half, and she's got some health issues. But we thought it would have meant more. But I told Chris, don't worry about it. You being here is just as important because he's the one that's actually getting out there helping keep Andre's memories alive.
Yes. Now we got right here the lineup going on. You want to talk about it for a moment?
Yeah, Friday night, 5 p.m. The doors are going to open. People that bought them tickets can show up. We'll be there all day. The vendors are going to start setting up Friday morning. You've seen how we have it at the hotels. The vendors in the hallway, and
yes.
The Mick Foley show will start at 6 p.m. roughly. His plane's not going to arrive until about 3:30 that afternoon, so we may be cutting it close. You know how the air flights are nowadays, but he will be there. I had a couple of conversations with him yesterday, and but then immediately after that, his VIP meet and greet with him, where there'll be moved over to another private room with him and to get photographed and autographed and spend a few minutes with him. and he's all wired up for that. So it'll be great. And then Saturday morning, 10 a.m., those doors will open and Fan Fest will kick off. It'll run from about 10 to 4 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, we'll start the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, where not only is Andre the Giant being inducted, but another great friend of ours, Spike Huber, the son-in-law of the late, great Dick the Bruiser, is being inducted in that class of 2026. And then Johnny Rod's a gentleman who's about 86 years old. I think Johnny is now. He goes to the gym. He's got a gym every day, 5-6 days a week, training the next generation of future stars and legends. So Johnny's getting inducted into that Hall of Fame also.
Yeah, I know a couple of guys who trained under him.
Oh, great guy. I mean, everybody out there. And a good friend of mine, Carmine the Spirito. I don't know if you've ever met Carmine. He's coming in to help with the award for Johnny. I'm really excited about Carmine. Great promoter, was a magazine editor. And that award there, Frank Cusimano is the sports director for KSDK Channel 5 TV out of St. Louis. Did a lot for sports, but a lot for the wrestling business. So we're giving him the Sam Muchnick Award this year. And Frank helped us 20 plus years ago when Larry Matisek, my dear late friend, and I reproduced the Wrestling at the Chase videos. And he covered the first story of that. And after his sports show came on that evening on the local news at 5 o'clock, I mean, in the first 15 minutes, we had over 300 phone calls of people wanting those tapes. And so he really kickstarted those Wrestling at the Chase tapes. So. And then he's done other shows for me, and he's just done a lot. And Sam, being a sports writer himself, I think it's just a good match for Frank to have that award.
Awesome. I want to give a shout out to our friends at APW. They will be there at FanFest.
Yeah, we can't do it without a bunch of vendors like that. Jason Jones, my good friend from down in Mid-States Wrestling in Arkansas is coming up. It takes vendors, it takes sponsors. Got some great sponsors out there that helps out because, it's not a one-man show when you're putting, especially, 60 airfares in and out of town, the logistics of getting them from the airport to the hotel and then back out on Sunday morning. It takes a lot of people and a lot of work to get it done. But as you're saying, we got a skeleton crew. But boy, they're mighty. They may be small, but they work. My son Jason helps, does all the logistics for me. Brian Whitaker, my wife, my daughter, my daughter-in-laws, my sister. It's a family thing. But then we have friends that come in, and that's why I say they're all part of the extended family of SICW and the Simmons family.
100%. They treated me like family when I was there that year.
Yeah, you are family. I mean, like I said, you're out there. I remember when you first started your man, how long ago has that been now? And I got to meet
this 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember when you did that, and you brought your son the 1 year, and now look at him. He's our next future superstar,
Yes, Mr. Brandon Denker. Remarkable Wrestling. Just check it out on YouTube.
That is great.
I want to talk about the Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah. Bruiser Brody Battle Royal. We've been doing the Bruiser Brody Memorial for many, many years now, and I pay tribute to Bruiser Brody, and then, of course, Sam Muchnick and Larry Matisek, and then my late friend Tony Costa, Little Dynamite, who him and I did the St. Louis Wrestling at the South Broadway Athletic Club, who passed away. And so I honor all of them each year, and it's always rounded out with the Battle Royal there. But and then I did something this year, Teddy Long. Yes. I made a deal with him, and he's actually the general manager of SICW now, and he's the one that's putting these matches together. And I believe you had Big Nasty Glenn Williams on your show before. Yes, well, he's got bigger and he's got nastier since he's been on there, and he's got his own talk show now on our show every Sunday night on YouTube. Awesome. SICW Championship Wrestling. It's called Nasty Talk. And for about the last month and a half, he has had an axe to grind with Teddy Long and with JBL and Mac Davis. And I mean, they've been back and forth on the Road Trip After Hours podcast with Mac and Teddy. And Big Nasty's been on there. And so I reached out to Teddy. I said, look, I need some help, man. And so he agreed to be the general manager. And one of the things he done here just about a week ago, everybody knows JBL is retired. He's making appearances, and but Teddy convinced him to come out of retirement. And so he hasn't announced what type of match it's going to be, but JBL, WWE legend, will be in a ring with Big Nasty Glenn Williams.
That's huge news, Herb.
And then we've got Tommy Wildfire Rich. Yeah, that's a gentleman and Dangerous Doug Gilbert will be in action, taking on Attila Khan and his manager of Devastation Incorporated, Stephen E.
Stephen E.
Yeah, you've had Stephen E. on before. And, he was the guy that tried to take over SICW, and then that got derailed by the All-American team of Ron Powers, Gary Jackson, and Danny Boy. But I thought he'd go away, but he's like that bad penny, and
always turns up.
Back up. But and then the Power of Pain will be in action. Barbarian and the Warlord will be in action in some form of a match. And of course, the Koloff tour is coming. Nikita Koloff, Vladimir, and Neil Koloff. They're doing that tour all over the country, so they're making a stop with us. I'm excited about that. Our sheriff of SICW, the Big Texan, will be in action against Neil Koloff, and that really has got the makings to be a good one. And then the ladies' match, Lilith Khan, a graduate of the Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. Ace Wrestling Academy, 6'7", 6'8", taking on Tootie Ramsey, who just came back from a tour of Italy, has been to Japan. She's been all over. She's a smaller young lady, but I tell you what, she lacks in size. Her speed and her knowledge of the business. Lilith Khan, the spawn of Khan, is going to have her hands full with Tootie Lynn.
She's making a name for herself, Lilith. I see her all over the place.
She's all over. Yeah, she's out there making a name for herself. And then, of course, we got another tag match that will take place. And Teddy Long just announced a stipulation in that match. Lucky P. Larson, one of the managers, one of the bad managers. I don't know of too many good ones anymore, but he's got a team of the L.A. Hustlers. Two big monsters of a guy, three-time champions. They're going to be taking on Curtis Wilde, the volatile one, and the Night Train, Gary Jackson, and their lovely manager, Wildfire. But the stipulation Teddy Long just put on there, the Silverback, Big Joe Helms, who has had an axe to grind with Lucky P. Larson for some time now, is going to be handcuffed to Lucky P. Larson. So that ought to be very interesting. So we'll end up with about, which I don't really like. I usually keep 7 matches on a card, but this is our mini mania.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I want to give the fans the best bucks that they can. So we'll have probably 8 or 9 matches, and then the big Bruiser Brody Battle Royal. I think we're going to end up with about 22 guys in it. And last year, James Jeffries from Impact Pro Wrestling won the Bruiser Brody Cup, and this year with 22 guys in there, it's a toss-up, but whoever the last man standing in the ring that night will be awarded that beautiful Bruiser Brody Trophy Cup by Barbara Goodish.
Wow. Plus we got Strictly Business Brandon Beretta there.
Well, yeah, and you've had Brandon on before, and Brandon's a graduate of the Ace Wrestling Academy, and you talk about a man who has been out there making a name for himself. I don't like the Brandon Beretta that's out there now, even though he's my champion, the SICW Classic champion. He's out there representing the company. His attitude has changed 180 degrees. And, but that happens in this business. And, but he's going against Belleville's own Bobby D, former champion, amateur wrestler. It's going to be that's going to be, every one of these matches are going to be a match of the night. And, but for that SICW Classic title, we just had a new title belt made that has all of the names that's been inducted into that St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame on the plates. So it's a prestigious belt. They get to carry it around and show it off when they go to these other organizations, and gets a lot of knowledge. And Brandon does a good job at that. I just wish I had the old Brandon back that was that nice little young man
kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah. When he came into the Ace Wrestling Academy, he weighed about 240 pounds, a little chubby kid. But I'm telling you, that guy when he's not wrestling, he's in the gym, and
he's working out. Yeah.
He's in there doing the gator rolls and tying them up like a pretzel. So yeah, Brandon will be in action, and it's going to be a great Bruiser Brody Memorial year. Everybody said, "Well, who's going to win the Battle Royal?" I said, "Well, you got to come and find out."
Got to come to the show. Got to come to FanFest.
Yeah, the hotel's been sold out now for about the last 3 weeks. So, we got 31 states represented in 2 countries, fans coming from, and the whole new hotel, the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center in Fairview Heights, Illinois, they've been a treat to work with. The city of Fairview Heights, Illinois, jumped on board as a sponsor. The city did, so that's the mayor and everybody. So that's really been helpful. And the county executive, Mark Kern, big pro wrestling fan, my boss. He sports professional wrestling ever since he was a young man like us, or like you, I should say. Heck, I'm going to be 73 years old here in a few months, man. I'll tell you.
You look great, though.
Oh, well, thank you. But people keep asking me when I'm going to retire. And I said, I got a great boss. I got a great job. I got great people that I work with. And it's always been public service for me. I'm the 911 director now and EMA. And so I get to still mingle with my law enforcement buddies and the paramedics and the firefighters. So that's what I did for 35 years, to run an ambulance service. So it's kind of like an old home for me. But the wrestling has been my passion, and 53 years this past February. And the tank's getting a little low, but my son Jason is he's trying to fit those shoes. Last year in Vegas, after I gave my acceptance speech, I called him up on the stage, and all the guys that has worked with me over the years, I said, "Now look, this is going to be the guy that's going to take over." I said, "There's only a couple of stipulations I want. I want you to give him the opportunity that you've all gave me, but I also want you to kick him in the rear like you did me if he screws up." And he admitted he's got some big shoes to fill, but he's doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear, man. Any memories with Andre you could share?
But yeah, Andre, when one of the misconceptions of wrestling fans here in the area or all over the Midwest, the program Wrestling at the Chase that we're also celebrating. There would have been their 67th year if it would have still been in operation, that Sam Muchnick had put together. Everybody thought that Andre come to Wrestling at the Chase. Well, he never wrestled at the Chase per se on the TV program in the studio, because it was a small studio and he was such a huge person. It didn't fit. Sam didn't want to put him in that position. Now, what they would do is Sam would take the summer months off from doing TV tapings, and he would have clips sent in from around the country from other territories. And when he was building Andre up at a show at Kiel Auditorium or at the St. Louis Checker Dome, the arena, they would show them on the tapes that were sent in, and people automatically assume, well, yeah, he was at Wrestling at the Chase, but Andre never ever stepped into the Wrestling at the Chase studio. And then when he would be at Kiel Auditorium after the match, we would periodically take him out to a local place in St. Louis, but religiously somebody would always want to challenge him. Wrong mistake. So Sam had a good friend over in Belleville, Illinois. In fact, where I've been running shows back since the late 70s, a place called English's Bar and Grill. Nice, quiet pub, Main Street in Belleville, Illinois. Sam would call a day or two ahead of time and say, "Hey, I got the big man coming in. Can we set up the back room?" And he knew he could take him over there. Nobody was going to cause any problems. And I'd see him sit there and drink 100 beers a night after a wrestling match. Loved his Budweiser, and plus drink a couple of bottles of wine and just be talking like you and are now. But it's Andre, a guy that, like I said, everybody was the boss to him. He would always say boss. And you'll hear guys say that he was as gentle as a giant, but I'm going to tell you, that's one giant you didn't want to wake up, because he was such a huge individual, and Chris, I love talking to Chris about him, because Chris has done so much research on him, and it's got all the background information on his childhood and things of that sort. He's talked to the people that helped take care of him. Great guy. But Andre was he was one that way too soon left us, and but he knew the time was coming, and
he lived his life, man.
had to go. Yeah, had to go. In fact, a lot of people don't know Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.'s sister was engaged to him at one time and was going to be married to him. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
You know, so
Good knowledge. Now, your memories of the Hulkster. Another one of my favorites.
yeah, Hulk was, with Hulk, there was all good things, but like all good things, there's always bad things, as we've all heard. I had one bad experience with him, but everybody has those bad days, and it was at the Kiel Auditorium, and families and their kids had been standing out there for hours waiting for him to arrive at a show, and that's when him and the Mr. T run was going on. And there was a young boy there in a wheelchair that had been there for hours waiting to get an autograph from Hulk and Mr. T. And I was helping work the back door that day with a friend of mine, Dee Heil. And when they come in, we mentioned to him that the young boy, and he was, he was terminally ill is what it was. And I could tell when Terry got out of the car, he was in a hurry. I don't know if they were running late, what it was, but him or Mr. T didn't have any time to stop and talk to any of the fans, let alone the little boy in the wheelchair. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But then after that, his best friend, Jimmy Hart, is a great friend of mine. And I'm every year on his birthday, and Jimmy is not a young chicken either like me, but he's going every day. He's got some big announcements going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks that he's got going on. It's at his career at the time of his life it's going to really put a boost to the mouth of the South Jimmy Hart, I think. But Hulk, say what they want about Hulk, he changed the scope of professional wrestling. He was at the right place at the right time. A lot of guys talked great about him. Bob Orton thought the world of him. Some guys thought he got put over them because of the push of his look. The Rocky movie is what really gave him his stair step to fame. Did you know anything about him before the Rocky movie? Probably not, other than he was a wrestler, but all of a sudden he's in the Rocky movie, and then here comes the Eye of the Tiger. And
right.
I used to joke and say, man, anybody could come out to that music and you get cheered, So, but no, Terry was a good guy, done a lot for the business. And that's why we are paying tribute to him, a special tribute. And then having Jimmy there, I was really glad yesterday that Jimmy was able to change his schedule around to join us at the Fan Fest, because Jimmy will have a couple of stories to tell about the Hulk and be there. It'd be like having the Hulk there with us.
Awesome, Herb. I think we covered everything about Fan Fest. Tell us what's going on at SICW. When's the next event?
Yes, man, I'll tell you, we've been rolling. The Belle Claire Fairgrounds, where we run our monthly show at, has been under new construction. They've remodeled things, built a brand new racetrack that's going to be opening up. They're bringing the county fair back. So we've been kind of hitting around different places. We're still doing about 95% of our shows are for nonprofit organizations. And it's I love doing that. I love helping these charitable organizations raise funds, whether it's the fire departments, police departments, charitable organizations. When COVID came along, it shut all those organizations down, and everybody fell behind for a couple of years there on their fundraisers. And we just helped the county animal services a few months back raise about $18,000 to go towards the care of dogs and cats. So we do things like that. We just had a show last Saturday night in Columbia, Illinois, at an indoor soccer arena. Got that through, and then Monday morning they're calling me and saying, "Hey, when can we book another one?" So, we bring the best of the business in my locker room. I've got guys that, as you know, the superstar Steve Fender, trained by Harley Race, Attila Khan, trained by Harley Race, the Big Texan, been around me 20 years, the Night Train Gary Jackson, Sean Benson, Bobby D, Jason Breed. these guys are not veterans. I mean, they're not rookies; they are veterans, and they're out helping these young veterans get their foot in the door and move forward. And because we're all getting older, so we want to pass that torch on. But we're doing NASCAR again this year. This will be our third year with them. I'm real excited. I tell them I wish I'd have met them about 20 years ago. We one of the shows we did last year, Farm, they had 80,000 people there, and Bill Murray was an opening music act, and that was wild. And so we're back there on June 7th, I think it is, the first show. And that's the big NASCAR races, Indy cars, and the NHRA. So I'm really, really blessed to have that here at the end of my career. The owner of the track, Curtis Francois, big wrestling fan. His dad was a big Dick the Bruiser fan, and I've got that Dick the Bruiser TV library with the reels are still in the big metal cases that they transfer back and forth to the TV. And so I'm slowly getting them downloaded and putting some of that footage out there. And I know there's some of it out there on the market, but I got the original tapes from Dick's wife before she passed away, Louise. But I've got them put away in a safe, and slowly I go up and grab one or two and take it to my guy over in St. Louis that downloads them and gets them all cleaned up for me. And he's got a thing that cleans some of the mold off of the film, and does a good job with it. So that's a little piece of history that we're keeping alive. And of course, I've got that St. Louis library, the Wrestling at the Chase tapes, and we play them on our show every Sunday night usually.
Yeah, I see that. And
but we're doing that. I got a show in Shawneetown, Illinois, June 7th, the day before we go down there for a thing called Cold Day. It's actually all week long outdoor festival. The fire chief down there, great guy. This is our third or fourth year there for them. Already got the main event signed there. It's a steel cage match with Attila Khan against Dangerous Doug Gilbert. The old last year we had what was called the old Shawneetown street fight. My grandparents were from old Shawneetown, and I hadn't been back there in 40 years. And so it was really good going back to see where Grandma and Grandpa's old house used to be. And but the fire chief and I have become good friends, and so we've got that booked. Going back to Fairmont City, Illinois again this year for the fire department. The Missouri Athletic Club is always a great show. They do a Thursday night once a year, and it's the boys' night out. Doctors, lawyers, dentists, professional individuals that actually will sit there and bet on the matches. And a quick story there, they 2 years ago we had a match going on, and the table, it's like the old wrestling at the Chase days. They serve a dinner. They have the tablecloths on there. The men and them are all dressed up in their suits, and the ladies in their gowns. And it just takes you back to the days of wrestling at the Chase back in the 50s and 60s. And I was sitting at ringside that night with Jimmy Hart, Tito Santana, and Jake the Snake Roberts. I brought them in for it. And they're betting on the who's going to win the match. And of course, the match was the guy that they wanted to win won, but then there was a reverse decision, which meant he lost. And I thought I was going to get strung up because I reversed the decision, the referee did. So that's how serious they take this stuff, And I mean, when I say they were betting on it, they had a pile of money in the middle of the table like this.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild, but awesome. It's fun. It's fun to see even to this day, the fans that still want to go out there and believe and have a good time. And I said, even though the toothpaste has been out of the tube now for a long time, I don't keep squeezing it. If you want to come and see my guys, they're gonna chop the heck out of one another. They're gonna punch the heck out of one another. They're gonna say, "Whoa, wait a minute," They pick you up. They're not laying you down. They're tossing you down on that mat. And that's what it's all about, believable. And that's what my guys are masters at.
Awesome. Herb, man, thank you for coming on
no problem.
Join me tonight.
Yay, thank you. I'm glad Serena was able to get she had me for one night, and she said, "I'm sorry, can we do it?" And I said, whatever you need, whatever Papa Dinkin you need, I'm there.
Oh, my job. It's been crazy. Yeah,
we're going to get you back in here in St. Louis again. And
I'm We'll have to. There's I want to make one of your shows. Doesn't have to be FanFest.
You should. I'm telling you, you ought to get on that frontier and come in and
That's
be
right.
come in and be my guest on this one. See, then you can take a relaxation and just
I'm
work
ready.
the room. You know.
I'm ready. I was thinking about the show, the NASCAR show.
Yeah, that's cool. That's I got 3 of them. The first one is June 6th. So
I'm gonna try to see if I can swing that. I'm gonna have to work my days together.
if you do, let me know. Come on out and I'll put you on a golf cart and you can ride around and do some videoing for me.
I love it. I love it. For sure. Let everybody know where they can follow you and SICW.
Well, Herb Simmons on Facebook. You know, everybody does all that other stuff. I can't even say Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. But I did a little bit on the TikTok now. They've got me on that. But Facebook's the easiest place. Herb Simmons. And then every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube or television channel, SICW, either All-Star Wrestling or Championship Wrestling. You can get it either way. It's on every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. It's old TV studio wrestling, and you get to see the interviews, you get to see the beatdowns, and you get to follow the storylines, something that I don't think they're doing a lot of nowadays.
All right. As for me, I'll be back tomorrow night. I got 2 podcasts tomorrow night between 7 and 8. Don't miss that right here on Facebook, YouTube. And this Saturday, I will be at CEP's Lucha Rumble with the World NWA Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Silas Mason. The Thrill Billy will be there. The NWA Women's Champ, Natalie Markova, will be there.
She's also coming into FanFest, her and Brian Idol.
Yes, they will be at FanFest as well. I will see Kylie Alexa Saturday. She will be there as well. Get your tickets, CEP. After that, we got Rise of the Titans. Bear Bronson will be in action on Saturday, May 23rd for Titan Championship Wrestling. And, of course, the show I'm actively involved with, that is Rising Stars Women's Wrestling 1-year anniversary. So, as we got Janai Kai versus Li Ying Lee. You don't want to miss that. And this Sunday, I will be back talking about more Rising Stars. We're gonna let everybody know what talent is coming. We got some good talent coming. And everybody loves the show and raves the show online. Get your tickets for that. Come down for that. Don't miss it. And, of course, my vlogs are out. And everybody loves my vlogs. Here I am with Kylie. She's the Starlet Champion over here at NYWC. She's all over the place coming up from WrestleCon. I'm there with Emily J, who just made her debut last night. She was on AEW.
That's great.
Wrestling with Jamie Hayter last night.
All right. And if anybody's watching and they want to get tickets for the FanFest, SICW.org, go on there and get it. And the package is on there. And, you know, it's real easy to do. We made it real affordable for people. And but that's the best way to get tickets.
And let me tell you firsthand, it is a stellar event, man. From like they say, soup to nuts, right?
Soup to nuts.
From the Mick Foley show. Now I was there for the other show, the Bill Apter show, but Mick Foley, what can you say? He's a legend. No doubt about it. Yeah. And of course, we got the Fan Fest, we got the Hall of Fame, and the Bruiser Brody Memorial Show. Don't want to miss that. SICW.org. Man, Herb, it's always a pleasure. We're going to talk in a moment. Everybody else, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow night. And